Hey, what's up guys, Taylor here, bringing you guys some more Tower Fantasy news. And now before we get started, if you guys could leave a like and subscribe, it'd mean a lot, and the algorithm would push the video out to way more people, and it would let me know that you guys like what I'm doing. But today, we've got some big news, big confirmations coming from a pretty reputable source when it comes to Tower Fantasy news. It's coming from a community member named REW, which I have a lot of faith in. Everything that they have said up until this point has remained true, to the point, very helpful, and very, very solid community member. And what Ari brought up was that it was confirmed by the developers that the Dreamland, aka a house, building, and private island section in the game, has been added to Tower of Fantasy. Now you know what this means, right? In case you didn't get it when I said it in the sentence before. The game is getting player housing and private islands, which means we can just all hang out with each other and chill. I think this is the greatest addition I think I could ever imagine for this game, making it a much more social experience for players and a much more welcoming community. I was never in a million years expecting this, because in a lot of games, player housing either just isn't added or is very lackluster, or in a lot of ways, devs don't even really care about making their MMOs really social experiences. But at this point, it just seems like Hotta Studio is not only making the game more social, but they're polishing up the game for full release. From what it seems like, Hotta Studio is doing everything it can to make this game different from Genshin Impact. It's trying to separate itself, and I think that's incredible. I think that's an amazing thing to do, because it's trying to sell itself as not Genshin Impact. It's trying to sell itself as a completely different game. It's trying to sell itself as the MMO that may look like Genshin Impact, but it plays differently. I don't know what we can do in our player housing yet. We're probably gonna have to figure that out ourselves. In fact, no one really knows quite yet. If I could imagine, it's just normal housing stuff. You could play stuff, you can buy a house. The private island thing sounds kind of interesting. I don't know what that would have to do with anything. I would imagine it's just a way to maybe just hang out. Now, if I were to personally guess, I'd probably assume you could just do random social stuff. Maybe some fun little mini games. Maybe small scale boss battles or small little missions that you could do in smaller groups. Or maybe it's only there just to serve as a social place for friends and groups. I think the most realistic feature to come out of this would probably be a guild housing system, where guilds have their headquarters on these private islands or player housing. But the fact that there's anything like this at all in a mobile, free-to-play MMO blows my mind. I'd imagine that with something like this in the game, servers might have a lot more people than we're thinking, and players will just be able to hop on islands and just chill with other people. Maybe the islands are meant to be player hub areas. I haven't noticed a central hub-like area in the game so far from players, so maybe there isn't one yet, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's very interesting, because I wonder what the usage of these private islands would end up being. There's a lot to be said here, and it looks like very good news. Hotta seems to be done building the core game. The core of Tower Fantasy is done. The UI has been redesigned. The story is done. Everything seems to be done. Now they're just polishing and adding new features and fixing up new things before the release, which I think is great. No delays have been mentioned. No cancellations have been mentioned. They showed up at China Joy, which was a big convention with Perfect World, and they didn't say anything bad. So we are in the green right now. We have good things coming. And with 2021 coming to a close within 3 months, we are within 3 months of getting our hands on this game. I would love for Hotta to let players know about other features and things coming into the game, but unfortunately, they seem to be kind of quiet about how they're doing things. However, this might just be the way Eastern game companies work. In a lot of ways, I've at least become accustomed to the way Western game companies work, where they're just letting people know everything. But I remember when Genshin Impact was coming up, there was pretty much no news. We would just have to put things together and play the betas and figure things out. So I'm just assuming that they're hard at work and they just want to show things when they're good, polished, and ready to go. But I think this is going to be an amazing addition to the game. What do you guys think about the private islands and player housing? What are you going to do with them? What are you going to have on your islands and houses? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to read and reply to all of your messages. Remember to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends who want to learn more about Tower Fantasy. That's about all for this video. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. See ya.